Hey friend, Brendan here, and I just attended my first Samsung Galaxy Unpacked here in San Francisco, California. And Samsung has unveiled its latest generation of Galaxy devices. The big theme that I'm noticing this year is sustainability and ecosystem. But we'll talk about that in just a moment, because I know why you're all here. Let's first talk about the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Of course, this is the phone that you want if you want the best specs. And of course, it has the S Pen that I know so many of you love. At first glance, it doesn't look like there's much that has changed, but if you look closely, there's a lot of refinements and significant changes on the inside. The device's edge and display curve are the most significant difference in the look. It is a bit flatter on the side and less curved on the screen, giving it a much better feel in the hand. I personally prefer a more flat screen myself, so this is a nice change.
It is a bit more like an in-between from the iPhone and the previous S22 Ultra. This does interestingly allow for a better grip in the hand, as the previous version was surprisingly more slippery in the hand.
The display is a 6.8-inch QHD plus 120Hz LTPO panel that can go all the way down to 1 Hz and gains an advanced vision booster that will change the color depending on the time of day. I do wonder if this is as dynamic as the True Tone displays on the Apple iPhones, or if this is more specifically oriented towards the time of the day. We'll have to find out in the review.
The display also has a peak brightness of 1750 nits, so it should be plenty bright in direct sunlight.
It also has a 240Hz touch sampling rate, which will be most notable for those who play games on their smartphone. On the inside, you have a custom Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy processor with a slightly higher clock speed and a custom ISP for the camera. We'll find out how the performance differs between a regular Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and this 4 Galaxy version. That'll be really interesting to find out. And that custom ISP is critical for one of the biggest updates to the Samsung Galaxy series. The major upgrade comes to the camera. The new 200 megapixel sensor allows it to bin multiple pixels ranging between 4 to 16 into 1 to create better nightography shots. Generally, I think the megapixel race is kind of nonsensical, but there's something very interesting happening here that I just have to admit. On top of that, the high megapixel count allows them to crop into the sensor or image while retaining a sharp, detailed image. Given how much smartphone cameras are digitally cropping in a lot now, this actually kind of makes some sense.
One of the practical benefits of a 200 megapixel camera is the ability to zoom in or crop into an image in post. Since the resolution is so high, you have a ton of detail even if you zoom in or crop in a ton. I did notice that there was some processing time after each photo taken, and especially so in the 200 megapixel mode. I did have a chance to take some photos and was able to see how the photo would process live. In many ways, I think the photo before AI processing is already quite good, but then the AI processing kicks in. What do you think about how it looks before and after processing, and how do you feel about my skin tones?
There's also a 12 megapixel ultra wide, which is wider than on the S22 Ultra, and a 10 megapixel dual telephoto camera system to get a 3x and 10x optical zoom, along with a 100x space zoom digital zoom. They've also improved the selfie camera, as it is the first one with Super HDR, autofocus, and the ability to record video at 60 frames per second, and it comes in at 12 megapixels. There's also improved OIS, 8K video, object-based AI to adjust the camera settings depending on what's in the frame, and AI to reduce any noise in any low-light images, and also to retain color.
I was able to take some low-light shots, and I thought it did a solid job, especially with neon signs. Normally these would look overly blown out and bloomy, but this looked great. So it was quite impressive that I was able to get this much detail and light. Shutter lag is still a concern, and in some images, people moving can look blurry, which is something that the Pixel tends to compensate for. One thing that was certainly interesting were the films made by notable filmmakers using the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Of course, they used some additional items to help obtain the image, and you would typically do this on a real cinema camera, but the fact you have access to pro features or manual camera settings has always been appreciated. It'll be interesting to see if regular people are able to replicate the quality that they were able to obtain.
Other things to point out is that it has a 5,000 milliamp battery that can charge at 65% in 30 minutes with a 45-watt charger. And there's also this 360 audio or binaural recording that you can capture when you combine the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro along with these new Galaxy devices. I'm really curious about this, so we'll have to test it out. The Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra starts at $1,199.99 with a base storage of 256 gigabytes and 8 gigabytes of RAM. All storage tiers after that get an upgrade to 12 gigabytes of RAM, and storage goes up to 1 terabyte. It does come in 4 colors: Phantom Black, Cream, Green, and Lavender. And I'm sure there'll be some exclusive bespoke colors available on the Samsung website and some exclusive deals that you can find in the link down below in the description. Now for the Samsung Galaxy S23 and 23 Plus. I have loved the S22 and 22 Plus designs. I actually preferred them. I think they look really modern and clean, and I really prefer that flat display. and I feel the same with the S23 and 23 Plus. They have some refinements, specifically on the back camera area, where they've gone for even more minimalistic look. There are some specs that vary from the Ultra model, so here are all the differences. As for the display, they come in a size of 6.1 inch and 6.6 inches for the Plus model, come at a lower FHD Plus resolution. They do have a 120Hz refresh rate that goes down to 48Hz. The display is also flat and looks clean, modern, and refined. The processor is the same, but the cameras are a bit different. Both models come with a 50 megapixel main wide camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, 10 megapixel telephoto camera with a 3x optical zoom, and a 12 megapixel front facing camera. These models have a 3900 mAh and 4700 mAh battery for the S23 and S23 Plus respectively, and come in options for 128 gigabytes of storage or 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Also, color options are consistent across all different tiers, including the Ultra. Prices are $799.99 for the S23 and $999.99 for the S23 Plus, but remember there are exclusive deals in the link in the description. All Galaxy S models come with 5 years of security updates and 4 generations of One UI and Android OS updates. Samsung also unveiled a few new Galaxy Book 3 laptops: the Book 3 Pro, a thin clamshell laptop, Book 3 Pro 360, a 2-in-1 convertible with S Pen support, and the Book 3 Ultra, which stood out the most to me. This laptop is a premium PC aimed at creators with a 13th gen Intel Core i9 processor and an NVIDIA RTX GeForce 4070 GPU, which means it can handle any creative work and run any AAA game with ease. It has a dynamic AMOLED 2X display at an interesting 3K or 2880 by 1800 resolution, but it does have a 120Hz refresh rate. The display is VESA Clear MR and Display HDR True Black 500 certified, and it has a 16 by 10 aspect ratio for its 16-inch display. Prices for the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra start at $2,399.99. As for sustainability and the ecosystem, they have removed all plastic from their packaging, and they're using recycled PET, ocean-bound plastic, and aluminum for the build of the new phones. That's always nice to see. For the ecosystem, they're trying to pull all of their products together so you can interact and connect them together in ways that you haven't seen from any other Android manufacturer. This makes a lot of sense because of how robust the Apple ecosystem is, so it is important for them to pursue this endeavor. They're hoping this happens with features like Quick Drop, which is a lot like AirDrop on the iPhone, smart things for smart home control, display sharing like Apple's AirPlay, and Continuity for easy multi-control, and even texting from your laptop.
One thing that I thought was really compelling was the ability to copy photos between your devices and auto-sync uncompressed images to your Galaxy Book from the phone, which is honestly something that I would absolutely love and would find convenient.
There's also Android Smart Switch to make it easy to set up a new device, just like Android Fast Pair, and other features that are unlocked when you combine Samsung accessories with their phones, like that 360 audio I talked about. They focus on specific features that iPhone users love and specifically reference as why they stay with an iPhone. If you're planning to pick up anything I mentioned in this video, I have an exclusive deal available. All you have to do is click the link down below in the description along with a link to this video's sponsor, NordVPN. Are you tired of feeling vulnerable when you're online? Do you worry about your online activity being tracked or exposed? Well, NordVPN can help. With over 5,000 servers in 60 countries, NordVPN is a virtual private network service that encrypts your internet connection and hides your online privacy. You can browse the web confidently in security, knowing that your personal information is protected. NordVPN also allows you to access content from all over the world without worrying about censorship or geo restrictions. Plus, NordVPN has a strict no logs policy, so you can be sure that your online activity will remain private. But NordVPN isn't just about protecting your privacy. It has many other benefits. NordVPN has a dedicated IP option, which means that you can have a unique static IP address that is only assigned to you. This could be useful for online banking, accessing certain websites, or geo-restricted content. NordVPN also has a double VPN feature which routes your traffic through 2 servers instead of 1 for extra security. So why wait? Protect yourself with NordVPN and enjoy the security and freedom of the internet. Whether you're at home, at work, or on the go like I am right now, NordVPN has you covered. Try it out for yourself and see the difference. Click the link in the description or go to nordvpn.com/techtoday to get an exclusive discount plus 1 month free. There's more Samsung content to come, so let me know what you'd like me to cover by leaving a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when I post another video. Thanks for watching. This is Tech Today. Until next time.